Hi to you. Hope 2016 is getting off to a beautiful start and that you are putting into play the resolutions that you set forth for yourself, whether it's fitness, exercise, beauty, whatever, that you're marching forward with a good attitude and a lot of focus and determination. I do know that in last week's video, the exercises that Paul and I provided for you, I've been doing those about 3 times a week and supplementing with other exercises as well. And let me tell you, I am feeling the burn. Things are getting tighter and firmer, and it works. So I know a lot of you responded to the fitness video and you gave a big shout out to Paul, and he greatly appreciates that, his newfound community here on YouTube. But again, I'm glad you're enjoying the exercises and that you find them challenging. For today's video, we are back in the bathroom for a DIY special. This is something that I have done throughout the years. Now, I know a lot of you have done home hair coloring before with disastrous results, as have I. But I have learned how to do things in a very toned down way that you can have good results with at-home hair coloring. I don't do all over color. As you know, you've come with me to the salon. Pauline at Salon Hermes does my color, and I'm like tricolore pasta with this hair. I've got sort of a medium chestnut brown with some darker lowlights and honey colored highlights. It does not occur in nature, and it can be very hard to reproduce. But what I do find sometimes with highlighting, and I noticed this in a photo that was taken yesterday at Channel 2, we partner with Habitat for Humanity, and we were out doing the framing for a home that will be somebody's home in a few months. But I was standing next to my weatherman, Frank Billingsley, and he's a blonde, and we were both outside, and holy guacamole, our hair color is exactly the same. So the highlights that I had done about 3-4 weeks ago, and then after being in Mexico and all of that, really lightened. So I don't really want to go in for an all over hair color. I'm not ready for that yet. But what I want to do is drop in a few lowlights, especially in this area right here. This is where things have gotten very, very blonde. And so I need a little separation. As you can see, there is some reddish brown in there, but I need to pull a little more of that through, create a little bit more separation in here so you see the difference between the light and the dark. This side is a little bit more, let's say, balanced. Most of my highlights are falling on this side. So what I'm going to do is show you how I go about placing some carefully located lowlights using L'Oreal Paris. I kind of bouncing back and forth between 2 colors. I use their medium chestnut brown, and this is their iced golden brown, both of which are very, very similar in color. So I can interchange the 2 and have the same result that I'm looking for. I mix everything up in their bottle. One of my favorite parts of this product is the conditioner that comes in the box. Love, love, love. And I take some tin foil, and I cut various lengths, longer, shorter, and I'm going to wrap the hair that I pull out in the foil so that the low light doesn't start blending in with the highlight, because I don't want to lose too much of that. So what I do is I take a comb that has a tail to it, and I can use that to separate hair sections. I have a very old makeup brush that I use, and when I do my color, I sort of paint it on the tin foil and wrap it up. So essentially what I need to do, and this is pretty quick, because usually a colorist underneath will do more of the darker shades, so I really don't need to drop in any low lights down here. It's just toward the top area. So I will peel back a layer basically, instead of just starting right here on top, because you want dimension and depth. I want to just pick up a few low lights underneath this top layer right here. So I'm just going to move that part aside and focus in on this area. And I do have a little more separation, a little bit more warmth in here, and I'm just going to add in a little bit more so I can look at the hair and I can see the areas that are light and the areas that are darker. Oh, silly me, before I start, cannot forget the fancy gloves. Oh yes, very attractive. It's like being at the doctor's office, the hair doctor. All right, I'm going to start with this first piece right in here. And I'm just going to lift. I don't need very chunky pieces. Again, a little will go a long way here. But there's certainly a lot of blonde going on. And I'm going to lay this tin foil down, put my hair over it, take the bottle, give her a little squeeze, run it down, and then I take the paintbrush and I spread it, my paintbrush, my makeup brush, and I just blend it down. Kind of like what they do at the hair salon, right? Not so far off. And if I didn't add enough color, I can just pull some more on, paint it through, and when I'm done, wrap it up, baby. And again, that way, like I said, your color won't touch the rest of your hair. And you can take it and look at it, and you may have some light in there, some dark. But again, this is just to bring out a little bit of warmth. If highlights tend to take over, bleach out, and you feel like you've lost separation in color, these little pieces here, you'd be amazed. Sometimes you only need to do about 5 or 6 of them, but when your hair is clean and dry, you suddenly get that separation again, just like you had when you left the salon. And what I like about this is that it can buy you a couple of weeks before you have to go back to the salon for your color. And that saves money. So, once you figure out what your low light color is and feel comfortable doing this at home, then you will really be off to a good start. I do recommend, hello, I'm here by the way, I do recommend if you have never done this before and you feel like you're guessing as to what that low light color is, get a color that you feel is close. Do a test strip on the underneath side. Test it, let it process, give it 30 minutes, don't do anything else. Strip that color off, wash that little piece of hair with shampoo, and then dry it so you can see how it looks dry. And if you feel really good with the color, then you can proceed and go on to the rest of your hair. But I'm a firm believer in the test strip and making sure that everything is a-okay. One more little piece in here. And again, as you can see, I'm skipping areas of light, just mimicking that separation that I got at the hair salon. And the good thing with a darker color, you can take your time because it all will process the same. Highlights are tricky. I do not recommend doing that at home at all. Okay, so that's the underside, and again, that's just going to provide a little contrast. I'm going to flip it over to the area that was really light, and again, I'm going to just creatively pick a few pieces right here along the part line, and I can already tell that this was a darker piece, but it's just faded over time, and I'm still leaving my front main highlight right here. And I'm going to go for this one, being just a little bit darker. And you can see that my pieces aren't very big or wide. It's always better to err on the side of caution and start conservatively. All of this will take about 30 minutes. I like to leave it on for a good amount of time just to make sure that the hair is really soaked up the color. Okay, just squish it in there. There's my highlight. So just take your time in this part. But again, it doesn't have to be much. There we go. Lay it down, and we will paint it through. Sometimes the ends will come off. Just I'm just one hot mess today. I'm gonna have hair color all over me. Okay, great. I didn't really notice too much of a problem toward the back. Most of it seemed to be concentrated around the front, and like I said, this side was pretty good, but just to make sure I have consistency in my low light color, I will pull a piece or two from this side just so that you see a balance in the color. Again, my highlights toward the front. And this will take, all of 10 minutes maybe. And it saves a trip to the salon. And I love going to the salon, you know that. I have such a good time there. But, like I said, it just, to buy some time in between when I'm not ready for that all over color yet, this is a great, inexpensive way to do it. And with practice comes good results. Remember the old televisions when you used to put tin foil on the antennas to get the signal? Sort of what I feel like right now. This side was pretty good. I don't want to get this side too dark. I was happier with the mix over here. It was just right here where I was light. So I think I am going to call it a day. Maybe one right back here. I see a bulk. So I'm going to pull that aside, go underneath. It gets tricky. You don't want to cover up, the well-placed highlights, but at the same time, you've got to find ways to tone it down. So here we go. I found a section to work with. And you can always just pull out areas that are blonde, stick with the areas that are a little bit darker. And I think this one's going to do it. And I don't mind going a little bit chunkier toward the back either. Get those ends in there. Here we go. So that was the last one. And you can, move everything off to the side, bend them, squish them, do what you got to do so that you can see. This is a good time to read, hang out in your bathroom, chill, all of that. So I've got about 30 minutes to go while I wait for the color to take and to really, really set in. And during this time, I want to share something really special, I think, with you. And it was a project that I was asked to be a part of actually several years ago. Celebrity photographer Peter Freed decided to work on a project called Prime. And it's a book basically highlighting women from age 35 up to 104, profiling them, photographing them completely barefaced, and having each woman write an essay about what it means to be in their prime. So this book has now finally come to fruition. Here it is, Prime: Reflections on Time and Beauty. And as you can see, there are some amazing women here, all barefaced on the cover. You might recognize that one. That's supermodel Christy Turlington, who was really, really big when I was growing up in the 80s. For whatever reason, I don't know how, I don't know why, but he got my name and wanted to include me in this book, which really blew my mind. So here you go, yours truly on page 146. Hair a little bit longer, pardon the reflection of the light bulb, but there you go, no makeup, and there's my article. And what I chose to write about was, and let me preface this by saying that all of these women wrote about their personal struggles, achievements, accomplishments, things that they've had to overcome, things that they felt defined them and what makes them feel beautiful in their prime. And for me, my issue was basically overcoming perfectionism. I had this great master plan for my life. I followed it to a T. Everything was marching forward. And I went through, personal struggles. I went through a divorce. I was a single parent. I did all of that in the public eye. And I really had to get real with myself and realize that there is no such thing as perfectionism, and even trying to achieve it is a fallacy, because you will only fall short. You can only try to be your best and to do your best, but there has to be an element of assumption that there will be human error and there must be forgiveness for that. So I wrote about my struggle with that, my ability to overcome it. And at the very end, I commented on how the 20-something-year-old Dominique would never have allowed herself to have been photographed barefaced for this book. I just, not perfect, not comfortable, wouldn't have done it. Even in my 20s, I wouldn't leave my house without having on some makeup, which is so ridiculous when you think about it. But again, that was my issue and something that I had to overcome. And now here I am, 48, on YouTube, tinfoil in my hair, not a drop of makeup on my face, and it is me being in touch with my authentic self and realizing that there is no such thing as perfect, and I will not judge myself on that level, and I don't expect others to judge me on that level. And I think what has been so great about this channel and this community is twofold, really. It's been cathartic for me to sort of put myself out there and be real and authentic and not to be afraid of it. And the response that I have gotten from that, from you, we are all in similar ages, and I hear a lot about how you applaud me for being comfortable enough to do this. And I appreciate that beyond belief, because now you understand that this was a big effort through my life to be able to get to this place where I felt this comfortable. But at the same time, it has allowed us to create this wonderful sisterhood of realness, of showing it like it is, and sharing our flaws and sharing our struggles and how we overcome things, and tips and tricks to make us look and feel better. But in the end, we are all a naked face, and we all have the same issues and the same problems to overcome, and it's good to be real about that. So it's so funny how sometimes what has hindered us can be the most freeing thing and can lead to really incredible things when we learn to let go and to just grasp a hold of who and what we truly are. So anyway, that's my lengthy diatribe about this book and me and being here for you in a very real and organic way. So I'm happy to do it, and I'm even happier that you appreciate me for doing it. So it makes this incredibly special. And I always say to give me what you need, tell me, encourage me, and that I want to be here for you and to help you as we essentially help each other here. But again, back to this book, I truly want to thank Peter, an amazing photographer and man, for including me in this book. I've had the joy of reading these women's stories, and I am touched and I am moved. And if this is something that you're interested in, you can get this book. It's theprimebook.org if you'd like to get a copy. But I will tell you, you will leave inspired and motivated, and you may find yourself in some of these stories. And on top of it, it's an exquisite coffee table book. So thank you, Peter. Mwah! I am honored. Okay, so I think I've just chewed up about 10 minutes of processing. I'm going to give it another 20 minutes, and I will come back, shampoo, and we will blow dry, and you'll be able to see the color separation that I've created from just a few carefully placed lowlights. Back in a few. Okay, my Channel 2 war paint is on. Time to take the hair out of the towel and see what we get. I'm going to put in my Living Proof Perfect Hair Day, because who doesn't want one of those? And I will quickly style the front section, because that's where I concentrated most of the lowlights, and we'll see how it turned out. Much better. I can already tell. I'm going to finish drying the rest of my hair, and not bore you with this process. And I will come back when it's all done. But as you can see right here in the part, you see the difference already? Highlights are still there, but it's a lot richer in color. Be right back. Here we are, blow dry is complete, and you can see the richness and the warmth that is now back in my hair. You also still see those selected highlight pieces, but there's more depth and dimension in the color. See that little low light that I popped in right there and the separation that that gave. So I feel like I'm back in touch with my winter self. I'm going to pop in my Living Proof amp and turn my head upside down to get some volume here. Hold on. Kick it right side up. Get everything into place. Break out Pharrell, 'cause I'm happy. Yes, I am. That worked out. Did not take too much time at all. And I'm going to set it and forget it with my favorite Kenra Volume 25 and call it a day. So there you go. DIY hair color. Simple, easy, just a few little steps and tricks to make it right so that it can be dynamite instead of disaster. Comments and suggestions below, please. I love to hear what you think and what you want to see. Also, please follow me here all on social media. I love to post all kinds of fun pictures and videos, so I hope you're a part of that community as well. And you can watch my newscast live from wherever you are on click2houston.com. I anchored the 6 and 10 p.m. newscast Central Time, so hopefully you can check out a little bit of what I do there. Remember, with your new hair color, be bold and be blessed this 2016, and I'll see you in a week. Bye.